All right, hello, my communications class 115. This is my audience for today. And then this is my sous chef Ronan.
Hi.
And then again, these are the consenting parents of Ronan to be on this video because he is under 18. All right, so today we will learn how to make pumpkin bread. This is award-winning and super secret, so I hope everybody is ready. All right, so first we're going to start with the most important part of cooking. We're going to wash our hands today. So over here, Ronan,
Yeah.
there you go. So what we've done so far is we've preheated the oven to
That's hot.
350. We're not going to burn Ronan. Don't burn your sous chef. And we've also filled up this side of the sink so that way we can throw away any of the used containers. Here you go.
Thank you.
All right, so first what we're going to do is we are going to start with two separate bowls. So we're going to have one for dry ingredients and one for wet ingredients. So I've already pre-measured everything out. So we are going to start with the sugar. For this recipe, this is going to be 1.5 cups. I'm going to start stirring. Okay, I know it's just sugar right now. All right, and then we are going to also put in the flour, which is 1 3/4 cups. And then we are going to add the teaspoon of baking soda and then half a teaspoon of salt. So whenever you're baking specifically, you want to make sure that you're stirring vigorously every 3 to 4 ingredients so that way they can combine to the best of its abilities. You don't want to just dump everything in and kind of have it settle.
That would not be a good idea.
That would not be a good idea. All right. Everything looking good in there?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so now what we have
I can't even tell what sugar anymore.
is a super special blend. We have half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and then we have half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and then we have half a teaspoon of a very secret special ingredient. So we're just going to go ahead and dump that in and stir it. Okay. All right. So once that's all stirred, you want to start on the wet ingredients.
So this is all stirred now?
Yes. All right. So here you go.
Dumping it in this one?
Yes.
All right.
And here's a spatula in case you
Yeah, I might need that.
So the reason that we separate the wet ingredients from the dry ingredients is so that you can fully combine everything. Some people feel like this is not a necessary step. However, it is one of the most necessary steps, so that way you can slowly combine
Should I just put
all
this in here?
ingredients. Yes. All right. And then next, okay, we have half a cup of oil.
It's getting slimy.
It's getting slimy. And then we have 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
It's starting to smell really good.
All right, good. And then I'll trade you.
All right.
And then after we combine that, we have another super secret ingredient. And I'm sorry, I can't give this information out. This is what makes the pumpkin bread prize winning. All right, so that's good. Looking good. All right, so the last thing that we have for wet ingredients is 2 eggs, and you want to crack them into a separate container anytime that you're baking. The reason for that is if you have an egg that's not good for whatever reason, you want to be able to have it contained, so you can just put it in there. And also, if you ever have any issues where you have a stray shell, it's easier to take it out of something that's smaller and contained. You also always want to, whenever you're making a bread, make sure that you add eggs last, because if you overbeat an egg, then it will harden the actual bread and doesn't make it as soft. Do you need to wash your hands?
Yeah.
And Ronan is washing his hands because he knows whenever he deals with eggs, he should always wash his hands right afterwards.
Because sometimes eggs can make you sick if you eat them raw.
That's right, because sometimes eggs can make you sick if you eat them raw. All right. So now we are going to add the eggs, and if you want to stir that up. And since I already have my soapy warm water going, I'll go ahead and start the cleaning process. Makes life so much easier later on down the line. And Ronan's got that almost combined, looking good. Now, what we want to do is, now that you have your dry ingredients all combined and your wet ingredients all combined, you want to slowly add in the dry. And then stir that till it's combined. And this just, it makes it easier to stir, number one, and then again, also completely blends everything. When you're dealing with this many spices, it's good to make sure that everything is completely blended. Ready for the next part?
Yeah.
Okay. If you can separate it into 3 times, that's usually the best. I'll hold the bowl.
Alright.
Alright, and then the last one.
My arm's getting tired.
Alright, you want to go grab a ladle and I'll finish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are the ladles at?
Right back there.
Which one should I grab?
The one that looks like a soup spoon. Perfect.
This work?
Yep. So, don't get too overzealous or that will happen, but that's why we're wearing aprons.
What happened?
Some of it spilled out the side.
Oh.
Alright, and then the last part is 1 cup of chocolate chips. Some people like a little more. Today they're getting a cup. You can also replace the chocolate chips with walnuts if you like. I've seen people do pecans if you prefer, so you can always do something like that.
I personally like butterscotch chocolate chips. Those are delicious.
Good to remember for next time we cook. Alright, perfect. Thank you, Ronan.
That is getting really hard to stir.
So now we are all ready to go ahead and do our actual pumpkin breads. So we have this super cute pan from Wilton. It is pumpkins because we're making pumpkin bread. This is a fun kitchen trick for people. Always make sure that if you're using one of these pans that you use as much Pam as you possibly can, so that way it comes out correctly. But whenever you're dealing with cake batter or something that's super thick, you can always Pam the actual ladle, so that way when you're serving it, it doesn't stick. So we're gonna go ahead and fill that up. This does not expand as much as like when you're baking cupcakes, so you can do just about that much. And is everybody gonna want a pumpkin bread today?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I want one. These look delicious. Especially because it had so much sugar in it.
Especially because you helped me make them. And then we're just gonna take the extras to work.
Yay.
All right, and then we're just gonna pop these in the oven for 20 minutes. Set our timer. And I know everybody has super important things to do today, so I won't make you wait that long. So we've already baked some skull pumpkin breads, so everybody can have one.
Oh, it came off.
There you go. Oh, thank you. Can you grab Christine's for her too?
This is freaking delicious.
Good. All right. Thank you so much to all my participants today. I really appreciate your time. Everybody's enjoying their pumpkin bread. And you guys
This is
have
really
a great
good.
day.
I really like this.
One more time.
Alright, bye.
Thanks.